This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Tonight, Walmart vigil. Friends and co-workers hold a candlelight tribute for the 19-year-old employee who died last month.
Liberal plan. Grit leader Zach Churchill unveils his party's platform.
And all three major political parties provide more details about how they would deal with Nova Scotia's housing crisis.
I'm tracking another warm-up. In fact, temperatures rising overnight and in throughout the day on Tuesday with a few showers in the mix. The full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. Co-workers, friends, and even strangers came together for a candlelight vigil last night to remember the young woman who died at a Halifax Walmart.
They got together to say prayers for the 19-year-old who was found in a commercial bakery oven last month. Gareth Hampshire has that story for us tonight.
About 2 weeks after Gursimran Kaur's death, friends and co-workers returned to Walmart to remember her, lighting candles and sharing stories about her gentle spirit. Those who knew her are still in shock.
It's so bad. Nobody believe on how it's possible.
They're praying together for the 19-year-old and her family.
We're just paying tribute to her. I feel she will rest, she will be in peace because we pray to God.
It's a big crowd showing support.
She's really very nice girl.
Yeah.
She's real. Even she also has a family there. Even I also met her brother once a time.
Okay. Yeah.
Even her mother also working in a Walmart.
Yeah.
So that's really a pain for all the community.
There are people who don't know the family but are also from India and feel a connection.
What family is feeling right now, we can't imagine because it's a very painful death. So we're gonna just say we are with the families and we are hoping for justice.
Gursimran Kaur's mother is not here, but the 19-year-old's father and brother have now arrived from India following a GoFundMe campaign that raised nearly $200,000. Several here have been supporting her mother since the tragedy.
Oh, she is in a bad situation. She is not in the right mode and mindset.
There is some frustration that people still don't know what happened.
As a community, we want the answers too. She wants the answers. She is the one who has the right to know right away what happened to her daughter.
Police have no update on their investigation, but have previously said it's a complex one and could take a significant amount of time.
Walmart released a statement to say it's working towards understanding how it happened. The statement said store associates wanted to attend the vigil to grieve and show support. The company says it's doing everything it can to support the police investigation, but there's no word yet on when the store will reopen. Gareth Hampshire, CBC News, Halifax. RCMP are on scene after two sudden deaths at a home in Cole Harbour. Officers were called to a home on Poplar Drive around 9 o'clock this morning. The RCMP said in a news release that the two people were known to each other, but aren't releasing any other details. Police say there is no public safety risk and the investigation is in the early stages.
A former Halifax area school principal has been acquitted of one of the sexual assault charges he faces. The judge found Stephen Hutchins not guilty during an appearance this morning in Nova Scotia Provincial Court. Two women have accused Hutchins of sexual assault. This is the first case to go to trial. A woman alleged that Hutchins gave her an open-mouth kiss and put his hands on her when she was just 14. She says she didn't consent to any of it. Hutchins testified that it never happened. The judge said while she found the woman credible, she was left with sufficient doubt that she had to acquit Hutchins. He faces another trial next spring.
And here's Ryan Snoddon now with our first quick look at the weather forecast.
And in your headline, we're talking about another warm-up.
Another warm-up, yeah, as temperatures, we just keep doing this roller coaster ride, right? That's pretty much fall here in the Maritimes, and we're on our way back up yet again. High temperatures today, not too far from where we should be for this time of year, slightly cooler than seasonal, 7, 8, 9 degrees in most cases, a little cooler right along the North Shore and into the valley. You can see back into the double digits tomorrow with those southwest winds, 20 gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. Temperatures continuing to rise right through into Wednesday. high teens. Could even see a couple of 20s on board here, depending on how much sunshine we see ahead of the cold front, which will bring us back to reality. So the timing of all this, could even see a few flakes tonight before temperatures do bump up overnight into Tuesday morning. Scattered showers on Tuesday with those southwest winds. And then as that front moves off to the east, we're going to get into this dry slot ahead of the cold front. The timing is going to be so key. Wednesday does look dry for the most part. Maybe a few showers in through Cape Breton and late day for the North Shore as this front starts to approach. But again, the timing is everything. Right now, it looks like the front well to the north, and so we'll be allowed to warm up quite nicely on Wednesday. And then that front moves in Wednesday evening into the overnight. And as the front moves south, our temperatures go south as well. And so, yeah, it's back to reality late week into the weekend. We'll break it all down with your full 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
So
all right.
That's where the temperatures go. Okay,
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, Nova Scotia Liberal Party leader Zach Churchill has released his party's election platform today.
It is a document, he says, that shows how a Liberal government would get more houses built, provide tax relief, and present an alternative to a carbon tax. Michael Gorman reports.
Liberal leader Zach Churchill had a bounce in his step as he released his party platform in Halifax. The document focuses on 5 areas: affordability, housing, healthcare, economic development, and governance.
And this is a contract with Nova Scotians. If you vote for a Nova Scotia Liberal government, this is what we will deliver for you, and we will hold ourselves accountable to it.
On housing, the Liberals say they'll help get 80,000 new units built by 2032. Churchill says that will include 4,000 new units in partnership with nonprofits and 2,000 new co-op homes. The Liberals are pledging to limit the use of fixed-term leases to 1 year for a tenant and maintain the rent cap until the vacancy rate hits 3%. Churchill says changes to rules around construction materials, incentives to develop vacant land, and an effort to get more women into the trades will all be part of the party's housing plan.
Our skilled trade labor force, less than 9% of that workforce is women. We're leaving half of our population out of our skilled trade workforce.
The Liberals reiterated previous tax cut commitments, including reducing the HST by 2 percentage points and making public transit free across the province. Churchill says the Liberals would also partner with the Halifax Bridge Commission to build a new 6-lane replacement for the aging McKay Bridge. There's a promise to reduce the small business tax, and Churchill is again proposing an Atlantic province cap-and-trade system. He says it would help reduce greenhouse gas emissions while lowering the price at the pumps by 10 cents a litre.
I have talked to Premier Holt. She agrees with this plan, and we think we can convince other provinces to work with us on a made in Atlantic Canada solution to carbon pricing that will take price off the pumps.
The Liberal plan for healthcare includes new and expanded collaborative care clinics and promised student loan relief for people working in in-demand areas. The Liberals would also put an emphasis on women's health and making parking free at Nova Scotia health sites.
The Liberals say their promises would cost a total of $661 million in their first year. That price tag would decrease in each of the next 3 years. The party says the provincial budget would be back in a surplus position by the 4th year of a mandate. Michael Gorman, CBC News, Halifax.
And still on the campaign trail, every major political party in Nova Scotia revealed a bit more today about how they would address the housing crisis. Taryn Grant has that story.
Housing was at the forefront for Nova Scotia political leaders as they kicked off week 2 of a snap election campaign. Progressive Conservative leader Tim Houston announced a loan program targeted at first-time home buyers. It would cut the minimum required down payment from 5% to 2%.
And the result will be more families being able to pick up the keys to their first new home. And that's an exciting thing. We can put the dream of owning a home back within reach of Nova Scotians. So we'll build more homes. We'll make them more affordable. We can make it happen for Nova Scotians.
The program would only be available for homes that cost less than $500,000. The average home price in Halifax in September was well above that. But average home prices everywhere else in the province were well below $500,000. Meanwhile, NDP leader Claudia Chender announced a tax rebate to help with the cost of housing. It would be available to households that earn less than $70,000 a year. Depending on income, the annual rebate would be anywhere from $720 to about $1,500.
If there's seniors living in homes that they lived in for a long time, their property taxes are going up, they're struggling to pay their mortgage, but they don't have another place to go. Families who have 2 working parents, but at the end of the month, how they feed the kids and get them in sports. This is such a real issue for so many Nova Scotians, and they need relief now, and that's what this program is designed to do.
Liberal leader Zach Churchill unveiled his party's entire costed platform, including a number of housing measures. Among them, a promise to support the construction of 80,000 new homes in the next 8 years.
This is a number that can't just be a goal. We have to do this if we are going to ensure that people have a roof over their heads. We'll do this by establishing province-wide minimum zoning standards and eliminate red tape to hasten development that is safe and appropriate and in the right areas.
The Tories and the NDP have yet to release their full platforms, but they still have a few weeks to do so. Election Day is November 26th. Taryn Grant, CBC News, Halifax.
A controversial proposed waste facility in Halifax is an issue for candidates on the provincial campaign trail. Residents have fought against a construction and demolition recycling facility near Porters Lake for years. Neighbors are worried about heavy truck traffic, loud noise and dust, and the environmental impacts on wetlands on the site. Last year's by-election for Preston saw the Liberals and Progressive Conservatives argue about campaign signs referencing the facility. The same candidates are facing off again and share the same message.
I'll fight against it, whatever it takes to have to, stand up for the constituents. That's what I want to do. Do I know all of the answers to how we're going to do that yet? No, I don't. But we'll definitely work towards helping the constituents get what they want in the area.
At this point, no application has come into the province of Nova Scotia, and I've expressed my opposition of this project to our Minister of Environment and Climate Change, and will continue to do so.
NDP candidate Coulter Simmons says he would support the residents' fight if elected. The facilities plan will go to Halifax Council for a final vote, and if it passes, will need provincial support.
Hundreds of wind turbines are proposed for rural communities in the province of Nova Scotia, but they won't power homes. Instead, the energy is slated to produce green hydrogen for export. As Luke Ettinger explains, one group is trying to make that a provincial election issue.
Candidates in the provincial election can expect some tough questions around the construction of large wind farms that would generate green hydrogen for export. Multiple companies have plans to build hundreds of turbines to produce hydrogen with the intent to export overseas. The projects would use renewable energy to separate hydrogen from water.
It's insanity. It's the definition of insanity and utter waste.
Green Nova Scotia First is a citizens group formed in response to the federal and provincial governments championing green hydrogen projects in Nova Scotia. The group is asking voters to pose questions to candidates about green hydrogen.
Nova Scotia is trying to get off coal and fossil fuels, and all these hydrogen projects stand to slow us down from getting to it.
Everwind has plans to build hundreds of turbines for green hydrogen. A spokesperson said the projects will deliver economic benefits while not taking away from plans to build renewable energy for the grid. The province is aiming for 80% renewable energy by 2030 and net zero emissions by 2050. And the PC leader says the projects will have a positive impact.
We have big needs coming up and potential to export as well, right? So I look at these things, and as somebody said to me, we don't catch just enough lobsters for Nova Scotians to eat. We catch lobsters and export them.
While the PC leader paints a picture of the province becoming a powerhouse in production, the provincial Green leader calls it hydrogen fever.
I'm a little bit dubious about the extent to which there is a good export market for made in Nova Scotia hydrogen energy products.
Liberal leader Zach Churchill says his party would prioritize renewable projects for the grid.
But my problem is that energy is not going to be used to bring down energy prices here in Nova Scotia or to further green our own grid.
A sentiment echoed by the NDP leader.
There's a huge burden on Nova Scotia to get off of coal, and we don't seem to be taking that as seriously as we are some billionaires' export plans.
Chender says she'll have more to say about green hydrogen production proposals in the coming days. Luke Ettinger, CBC News, DeBert.
The number of electric vehicles in Nova Scotia is accelerating fast. But as the CBC's Josh Hoffman found out, people in the industry say charging infrastructure in the province hasn't kept pace.
There are thousands more electric vehicles on Nova Scotia roads now compared to even just a few years ago. But experts say there aren't enough public chargers.
Outside of this garage here, outside of repairs, outside of anything, I would say the biggest challenge for people in Nova Scotia is the charging infrastructure. I mean, that holds a lot back.
McLean helped open an electric vehicle garage after working as a car dealership technician for many years because he noticed more and more people were shifting away from gas-powered vehicles. There were only 53 electric battery vehicles in Nova Scotia in 2017, but by the end of last year, that number had jumped above 2,300. The number of hybrid vehicles is also up significantly. However, the number of electric vehicles still only represents a small portion of all vehicles in Nova Scotia. Experts say to get more EVs on the road, people need to know they'll be able to get a charge wherever they go. Halifax Regional Municipality said earlier this year plans to install 56 electric chargers had been delayed and haven't updated when they might all be online. Ottawa announced this summer it's spending millions of dollars to install 660 chargers across Nova Scotia. There are nearly 300 public electric chargers currently in place in the province.
We are going electric at a fast pace, but we need to catch up. Especially this comes into consideration with our EV charging infrastructure.
Sampson says continued investment in chargers from governments is essential to improving infrastructure, and businesses like hotels and restaurants can also play a role. He said Nova Scotia's network can be improved by focusing on rural areas when installing new chargers so residents and visitors aren't stranded on longer trips.
That's one of the stepping stones that we need to get to that we are not there yet. And then in addition to having just one charger, ideally you would have 2, 3, 4. That way if multiple people show up at the same time, then it's no problem, just like the gas station you're used to.
For McLean, he says about half his current customers drive electric vehicles, but he can't wait for the day when his entire lot is filled with EVs to fix. Josh Hoffman, CBC News, Halifax.
Look at all the lights of Halifax Harbor
pretty,
downtown
isn't it?
Halifax. It's lovely. We've got Ryan up next with the full weather forecast. We're back on the other side of the break.
All right, little rain for some folks on Friday, but yeah, it's been a dry weekend.
Probably not as much as we need.
Not as much as we need. I did a lot of leaf raking this weekend.
Good for you.
Someone did. Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
and not enough. It's still a big task ahead.
But they were dry.
Yeah,
But
well,
notable
that's
how dry they
Crunchy.
were, for sure. Very crunchy. And yeah, I mean, have a look at this map. This really kind of tells the story. This is the month of October, courtesy of Environment Canada with their Climate Atlantic outlook. And you can see, or recap, I should say, most of the province in the 25 to 50% of normal in terms of what we saw in the month of October for rainfall. Normal is about 90 to 130 millimeters. So most of us were less than half. Some of us down in the Shelburne area, extreme South Shore region, looking at less than a quarter of what we normally see, and pretty much all of the entire province, minus the Highlands of Cape Breton, were certainly drier than normal. So we need the wet weather. And actually, I was a bit surprised with these numbers. I kind of thought they were going to be a little bit higher, pretty much, in the just shy of a degree warmer than normal. Yarmouth certainly stands out at 1.2 above normal in terms of temperatures for the month of October. But while pretty much the whole month was above normal, the first half was kind of just above normal. And then we had those really warm pushes in the second half, which I think recency bias there. And November outlook, you can see this is the Great Lakes. Here's Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and you can see most of eastern North America expected to be above normal for the month of November. Live look, boy, this is weird. Nova Scotia webcams, live shot, downtown Lunenburg there, right on the water, and yeah, it's dark. Really dark. We'll get used to it. And of course, as we move forward, we are going to be looking at those days getting shorter and shorter. You can see temperatures right now, 3 in Halifax, 5 in Lunenburg. We're at the freezing mark already at Kedzie. And one of the things we're going to be watching with this warm front coming in tonight, with the temperatures cooling, just before that front arrives, and then eventually the temperatures will rise overnight, but we will see the potential for maybe a few flakes and perhaps some slick conditions early tomorrow morning, especially higher terrain areas. We'll time that out. Look at this front, how sharp it is all the way down to Mexico, and that is snow over the mountains in New Mexico, that far south. You can see, look at the temperature contrast here with this very sharp cold front. And that sharp cold front will eventually work its way in for us as well. So temperatures cooling tonight to and just below the freezing mark with those showers. And yes, a few flakes likely mixing in here as this does move in overnight. There are those few flakes, Cobequid, Mount Tom, and then, out even towards the higher terrain areas of Antigonish, potentially for the Cape Breton Highlands tomorrow morning. A few showers with this, but nothing substantial. And then for 5 p.m., we're going to look at a better chance for showers for later afternoon into tomorrow evening to move back through. Highs will bump up into the 9 to 10 degree range by tomorrow evening for Cape Breton. So your highs kind of rising even throughout the supper hour tomorrow. 10, 12 degrees for the mainland for tomorrow, for central parts of the mainland, and back into the west as well. Temperatures right near 11 to 12 degrees. Now, let's time things out. Note Wednesday, some sun breaks in the mix. I do think the clouds will dominate at times on Wednesday, but overall it is looking like a mix of sun and cloud, as I do think we'll see some pretty solid sunny breaks in the afternoon. The front right now looks like it's going to hold off in time for the temperatures to warm nicely. Widespread 16 to 19. Could see a couple of 20-degree temperatures. And then the front moves south, the winds shift to north, and we are going to be dropping our temperatures into Thursday. Thursday looks great. Mix of sun and cloud again on Friday. Little cool Saturday, maybe a few flakes flying again in Cape Breton with temperatures near 6 degrees. And a quick update. Last week we were talking about that potential tropical development. This is Rafael, which is now rolling north Jamaica. We'll have to keep an eye on this for the Eastern Caribbean and then into the Gulf of Mexico by the time we get to Friday and into the weekend. So tropics still alive here in early November, Tom and Amy.
It's been quite a year down there. Okay,
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Coming up, the science behind tagging great white sharks and why DFO is now tracking the predators. There is lots of research that's trying to understand the movements and behavior of great white sharks, some of whom have lurked in Nova Scotia waters.
Scientist Heather Bowlby helped tag 15 great whites over 3 days near the Magdalen Islands. She's also the research lead of the shark unit at DFO. She spoke to the CBC's Jeff Douglas.
They're beautiful.
Really?
They are. They really are. We talk a lot about white sharks being predatory, and they are. They are a powerful marine predator. The white sharks that come around the boat are obviously quite curious, and they're also very cautious. They'll pass just outside of the range so many times before they may give you an opportunity for tagging, and they're moving really slowly. It's obvious they're watching you.
You get the sense that they're actually looking at you.
Yes, because if you kneel down below the gunnel of the boat, they'll sometimes change their behavior, but you can't tag them that way because you don't have any leverage.
Yeah.
We tag with a harpoon, and so it's external tagging, and so there's an anchor and a small lead rope, 2 tags, and you put them on the end of the harpoon and jab the anchor into the dorsal muscle of the shark. You can understand it like almost like a barcode. It gives off a sound that's coded that tells you the individual, and those tags will transmit for up to 10 years. And you get information from those tags when the shark swims next to a monitoring station. So you don't actually have like geolocation detections like people are used to, but when the monitoring station picks up the animal, that's when you know it was in the vicinity.
And why go this route?
For 2 reasons. One, the questions that I need to answer as a fisheries and oceans scientist all revolve around a concept called critical habitat. And this is the habitat white sharks need to complete their life history in Canada. And so by tagging with this technology, we get information on how they're behaving in terms of their dive tracks, but also what environments they're experiencing in terms of the temperature. So you get much more information about their habitat than just the location that they are. The other reason is that we've tried to very much minimize any impact that we have on the sharks because of our research.
Right. How old are you seeing? How many females to males? Like who's out there?
It very much changes year to year, honestly. When we first started tagging, we expected it was going to be adults in Canada. We thought, okay, they're bigger, they can better travel the distance and deal with the colder water. But as we kept working, that's not what's been happening. We found that juveniles tend to be much more likely to come to Canada. This year specifically, we saw a lot more males. Last year, we saw a lot more females. And so it can really vary from place to place and as well from year to year. I will never admit to not being a little bit scared of them. I realized through the course of our work that with a white shark, its option to investigate something that it doesn't understand is to use its mouth. The perspective that I have is, okay, yes, they're not necessarily food motivated, but because they are a curious animal and they want to investigate things they don't understand, they tend to bite them.
Right, right.
Coming up, election eve, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris make their final pitch to voters on the last day of campaigning.
Remembering the life and legacy of Quincy Jones, the legendary performer, producer, and music icon, dies at the age of 91. Welcome back. Today is the final day of campaigning before tomorrow's U.S. presidential election, and it's going down to the wire. Polls still say the race is neck and neck.
And that's why Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are sprinting across key swing states, trying to make sure their supporters get out to vote or to win over the very few Americans who haven't made their choice yet.
But in this unprecedented election, in a deeply polarized country, there's also a sense of nervous energy heading into voting day. Katie Simpson has details from Washington.
Major security preparations are underway all over Washington, and that is because Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee and the vice president, will be holding her election night headquarters, her celebration, she hopes, in the U.S. Capitol. There's more fencing going up around the White House, around the vice president's official residence as well. Some businesses are boarding up, and then at Howard University, major security preparations are in place and continuing to be set up in the final hours of this campaign. Harris is spending the last day of campaigning in battleground Pennsylvania, showing just how important that state is to winning this race. She's trying to deliver 2 points in her final message. One, sowing some fear about what another Trump presidency could look like, another presidency under Donald Trump, as well as offering what she feels is an optimistic alternative.
You know, when you love something, you fight for it. And that's what we're doing. And that's what we're doing. We love our country, and we are fighting for the best of who we are. And I love you. Thank you. I love you.
Donald Trump is spending the final day of the campaign hitting 3 different battleground states, and Trump is doing what Trump is known for. He's delivering a message that is not exactly the script his advisors have recommended, launching into attacks, personal attacks on his opponents as he tries to really rally his base.
So on Tuesday, stand up, you have to do it, and we have to tell Kamala that you've had enough. Kamala, we're not going to take it anymore. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here.
Polls in swing states as well as national surveys suggest that this race remains razor thin, coming down to the final push to get out the vote. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump is planning a big election night party near his estate in West Palm Beach, Florida. And along with that comes a whole host of security challenges. Chris Reyes is nearby with a look at how authorities are preparing.
Security preparations are already underway at the Palm Beach County Convention Center, where the Trump campaign is holding a big watch party on election night.
While we don't expect or want any trouble or issues, I just want to let everyone know that if you are thinking about or planning on coming to our great city to cause problems, don't do it. It won't end well for you.
Security measures will include road closures and increased police presence, especially in the downtown area.
I'm going to bring a couple correctional buses down there, which is a nice name for jail. So if at the slightest inclination that things are getting ready to heat up and get out of hand, we're going to stop it real early.
At Mar-a-Lago, this is as close as supporters could get to Trump's estate.
Hopefully, it can be a peaceful transfer of power, if there is a transfer of power. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to contain it. We have a good sheriff's department here.
This country has got to be united. We're not going to get nowhere.
Expect security to really intensify when Trump arrives. He's expected to vote here on Tuesday. Chris Reyes, CBC News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
Michigan is one of the most competitive battlegrounds in the U.S. election, with pollsters considering it a virtual tie. But with a large Arab American population, there's one issue in the state that could alter the dynamics of the race. Susan Ormiston is in Grand Rapids with a look at how residents are planning to cast their votes.
It's tight. Michigan was won by Joe Biden back in 2020 and by Donald Trump in 2016. And projections show that this vote today is less than a percentage point gap between Harris and Trump. In the leafy suburbs of West Bloomfield near Detroit, there are dueling campaign signs and divided homes.
It's very scary here, and
We're kind of a house divided. I have 2 younger daughters. My husband, not so sure. 3 of us are trying to convince him to vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Her husband favors Trump.
I think for him, it's more about, I'm just going to say it, money. And Trump has this big, platform and always talks about how he's going to, he's a businessman, he can make money and get this country right.
Kamala Harris spent much of her Sunday in Michigan, and we caught up with voters straining to catch a glimpse of the woman who's inspiring them.
I'm excited to see this. This is history.
This is what?
History in the making.
She brings about the change that we need. She brings about the advancement that we need so that we become a better people, a better nation.
But support has weakened among Arab Americans, a large community here in Michigan, angry and frustrated over the Biden-Harris response to the Gaza war. Democrats are worried, too, about the black vote. At a church in Detroit, the pastor is preaching to help get out the vote, and he's made it clear he's going for Trump.
We're intelligent people. We've pledged our allegiance to the Democratic Party for long enough. We've given them opportunities. In this time, we're not doing it this time.
Not all of his congregation supports him. In fact, one man quietly told us that some of the members of the church have left because of this. The election is tearing at this country, and in some ways the vote can't come soon enough. Tonight, Donald Trump will be here at a big rally in Grand Rapids, Michigan. People are lined up for hours to get to see his final campaign rally. After 9 years of campaigning to be president, this is it. The last address to Americans to try to persuade them he's the right candidate for president. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Syria says Israel conducted an airstrike today on civilian locations in the capital, Damascus, causing damage but no reported injuries. While in Gaza, medics there say at least 10 Palestinians were killed and several others wounded in airstrikes on 2 homes there. So far, Israel hasn't commented on either situation, but it did announce it's formally terminated an agreement with the United Nations to facilitate aid work in Gaza. 3 months after several UN staff members, the agency were fired for possible involvement in the October 7th attacks of 2023. Sasha Petrusik has details on that from Jerusalem.
The Israeli government submitted a notice to the United Nations today saying that it is going to cut ties with UNRWA. That's an organization, the main organization, that provides help to Palestinian refugees, and it's been doing this for decades now. For decades also, the Israeli government has said that this organization has unacceptable ties to Hamas, the militant organization that has been running Gaza and that was behind the attacks against Israel last October 7th. So Israel passed legislation last week here in Israel saying that UNRWA will not be able to operate within about 60 to 90 days. That set the clock ticking, and this is the next step in that direction. Now, this could have incredible repercussions inside Gaza in particular, where UNRWA has been the main organization delivering food aid, medical aid, and providing shelter to Palestinians. UNRWA denies Israel's accusations that it is connected to Hamas. It denies that it allows Hamas to use its facilities for military purposes, and says that it is absolutely critical that it continue providing aid, especially food aid, at a time when many nations have said that not enough is getting in. And this is how the people who are receiving that aid put it.
بالدور وبالكب والله لقمة العيش مهمنا نحرق لما نروح نجيبها من هالأطفال الجعانين أطفالنا. إحنا أصلا جعانين، إحنا عايزين الأكل، عايزين الشرب. هم والله خبز وفش عنا إحنا إلنا شهر من يوم ما انقطع الحين مش قادرين نجيبه ب1.5 مليون. إحنا هنا عايشين على التكية.
Now, Israel has said it will find other ways to get this aid into Gaza, especially food aid. It says that it will work with other organizations, or perhaps it will do it itself. But so far, it has not presented any kind of public plan. And the clock is ticking because there is only a maximum of about 90 days before it says it's going to pull the plug for good on UNRWA. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News, Jerusalem.
Spain has deployed more soldiers to the east of its country. They will assist in the recovery efforts from deadly floods that caused catastrophic damage last week. About 5,000 troops are on the ground to help distribute food and water. They will also assist in damage cleanup and guard against looting. At least 217 people have died as a result of the disaster, most of them in the Valencia region. The death toll has sparked anger from the public over how officials have handled the situation. Some are upset at a perceived lack of warning and insufficient support from authorities after the floods. Last Tuesday, a heavy downpour of rain caused riverbanks to overflow. The wall of water swept away almost everything in its path and caught many people off guard. This is considered the deadliest storm in the country's history.
Tributes are pouring in across Canada and the political divide for Murray Sinclair. The former lawyer, judge, and senator died this morning at the age of 73. His family says he died peacefully, surrounded by loved ones. Now, Sinclair spent much of his life fighting for fairness and justice for Indigenous people. He was head of Canada's Truth and Reconciliation Commission, where he confronted truths in this country this country is still grappling with. Cameron McIntosh has more now on Murray Sinclair's life and legacy.
There have always been those who are deniers of history.
A respected elder and statesman, Murray Sinclair laid the path for reconciliation in Canada.
And this nation must never forget what it once did to its most vulnerable people.
Born in 1951, raised in Selkirk, Manitoba, Sinclair's Anishinaabe name meant the one who speaks of pictures in the sky. He excelled in school, skipping 2 grades, was a star athlete and valedictorian, who went into law, originally aiming to enter politics.
I really became bitten by the law bug.
Racial hurdles were quickly apparent. As a young lawyer dealing with a client, a police officer mistook him for the accused.
He grabbed me by the arm and was going to lead me back to the cells because he assumed the white guy was the lawyer.
In 1988, Sinclair became Manitoba's first ever Indigenous provincial court judge. After a police killing of an Indigenous man, he was co-commissioner of a tension-filled inquiry into racism in Manitoba's justice system. He quickly felt backlash.
An RCMP officer came to my house and said, we have information that a City of Winnipeg police officer has threatened to kill you.
Nothing came of it. Sinclair kept asking hard questions. He rose to Queen's Bench and also led an inquest into the deaths of 12 infants in pediatric care in Manitoba. But it was the 2008 Truth and Reconciliation Commission where Sinclair cast the most light, spending 6 years listening to residential school survivors, uncovering truths he knew many would not want or be able to accept.
And the phrase I used to use with the staff is that we have to write this for the reasonable.
His 94 calls to action have brought some progress, particularly around awareness, but many remain unfulfilled.
The public still largely struggles with the question of what can we do about it.
Shortly after the TRC, he did get that career in politics, appointed as an independent senator in 2016. He served nearly 5 years, a platform he used to promote reconciliation.
I've been involved in the work of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Why can't you just get over it and move on? And my answer has always been, why can't you always remember this?
He turned down consideration for Governor General, citing a desire to spend time with his family, but was a member of the Order of Canada. Through it all, he became one of Canada's most respected Indigenous voices. A mentor to many, including Manitoba's first Anishinaabe Premier, through his career, Sinclair dealt with countless stories of pain, despair, and racism, but at his core, remained an optimist.
As long as we have that belief in the need to improve the future, then the future will be improved.
Change he acknowledged would be slow, but remained confident is inevitable. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The man behind some of Michael Jackson's most famous songs has died at the age of 91. Quincy Jones produced that hit song called Beat It and some others off the record-breaking Thriller album by the King of Pop. It was the world's best-selling album ever. Jones had a career that spanned 7 decades. He greatly influenced the evolution of pop music. He started out as a musician and learned how to play as many instruments as he could. He eventually moved into the studio, where he also produced film and television.
Canada's main stock index was essentially flat today as losses in telecom stocks offset gains in energy, while U.S. markets were down ahead of Tuesday's election. Here's a look at how the markets did today as we head to break. All right, we're just joking. It's picture time here on the show. So many beautiful fall scenes that we've seen. You wonder how much longer they're going to last?
Well, it depends where you are in the province, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And the one thing that keeps on giving is the sunset pictures.
That's for sure.
Yeah. And you know what? With everybody thinking about the U.S. right now, let's go to South Ohio.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Right?
Not that South.
Are they voting in this way? No, they're not.
No, I don't think so. But South Ohio, beautiful spot here.
Was this last night, by the way?
Yes.
Because I noticed from Halifax here, it was gorgeous. The sunset was awesome.
Really nice. Which was kind of fitting for the first, 5 o'clock sunset, right?
It did come early,
Trying
didn't
to sell
it?
itself.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks to Flint for sharing. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Have a look at the temperatures out there right now, or I should say for tomorrow, double digits for the most part. Now, Sydney and into the Port Hawkesbury area, that's likely not until the early evening as those temperatures are going to rise as we move throughout the day. Look at Wednesday. Again, punching well above our weight. We'll have to keep an eye on the records for this day. We'll get into more on that tomorrow. But you can see widespread high teens with a few showers, and then we're going to be cold front watching. I should mention again, overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, the Cobequid Pass, Mount Tom, could see a few flakes mixing in overnight, early morning, before those temperatures do bump up, just on the leading edge of that warm front. Then that southwest wind kicks in, and we will be looking at, a few showers lingering into Wednesday, I think, for Cape Breton, but overall, dry for the mainland until maybe late day as that front starts to approach. Southwest wind, again, keeping us nice and mild. There's the late day shower chance in the northeast, and then that front sinks south, and the temps are long gone, the high teen temps anyway, and we will be looking at a pretty favorable setup towards the end of the week. Maybe an isolated shower risk in the southwest on Thursday. Friday looks good. The weekend, back to reality.
There we go.
For sure. Okay, well, Collins Dictionary has announced brat as its 2024 word of the year.
The dictionary defines it as someone characterized by a confident, independent, and hedonistic attitude. Brat became a cultural phenomenon when British singer Charlie XCX dropped her hit album of the same name over the summer.
It even landed with Democratic candidate Kamala Harris' presidential election campaign, after which Charlie XCX gave her a seal of approval, proclaiming on X, Kamala is brat.
Well, there you go. It's in the dictionary now. That's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.